All right. Shit. What are we talking about? Okay.
Pitter patter. Let's get at her.
Pitter patter.
Pitter patter.
Pitter
That is
patter.
always in
Let's
my head
get
now.
going.
Let's get going.
Airball.
That's gonna be the new Sunny for us.
That's fine.
All right. Welcome to the All Pop No Culture podcast. I am your host this week, Opie, and I'm joined as always by Kevin.
Hello.
Alex.
Howdy,
Peter.
What it do?
Peter.
And David.
Hello.
All righty. If you listened last week, you're in luck because we're going to do it again. This episode is we're gonna repeat a couple of things because we are working through our franchises of movies, and some of us have progressed on that, and some of us have not. So it'll be a little shorter. But then after that, we are going to be talking monsters in terms of Godzilla and King Kong with that trailer coming out this past week, and then the release dates on HBO Max. And then we're going to talk about the announcement of the Snyder Cut of, what was it, Justice League? That's what it is,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Justice League.
Yeah.
So we will get to that and finish off the episode with that. So and then, of course, if you are new to the podcast, we are a pop culture centered podcast discussing relevancy in movies and television, sometimes video games, sometimes just the DCU. Because it sucks you in like a bottomless pit. And then, I'm sorry, I'm back. And so if you're new to the show, welcome. Thank you for downloading and thank you for listening. And if you are a repeat offender, welcome back. Glad you're with us. So starting it off this week, is there anything before we go into the franchise talk? Anything anyone's watched? Anything that of note that they want to discuss?
Should
No,
discuss
Pete?
Wanda episode 4 just for a smidge,
Just
because
a
there were some
smidge?
pretty significant
Yep.
things that happened. Don't want to spend too. We don't want this to be
How
like
so?
the first week of episodes where it was like an hour on Game of Thrones each, but
Okay.
there was
That's fine.
some pretty significant happenings, I think, this week in episode 4.
So if you have not seen WandaVision episode 4, spoilers, just
Yeah, they're coming.
Yeah.
What
skip
are you
ahead.
doing?
They're coming now.
Yeah.
So I gotta say, episode 4 turned it around for me because I'm like, okay, this is what I've been wanting to see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this was the most
see.
Marvel episode by far.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, for
Yes.
sure.
or
It
MCU
felt like a
episode,
Marvel
right?
movie. Like it felt
Yeah.
like an
Yeah.
MCU
Yeah.
movie, like all the way through it.
We had to pause like 3 times to explain to my daughters who everybody was. Like,
Right.
you don't remember this guy? This guy kept busting in on Ant-Man, trying to see. It's like, oh, that's right. When he had the
That's
And
the one
then,
who called the hammer Mew Mew. Yeah.
yes. So
I
we,
love her. Meow meow.
Ah. Yeah,
But,
they work her into whatever they can, man. She's clearly like very easy to get to show up to set, because I feel like she's been slotted in quite a few times for various things.
Who?
But she's great.
Kat Dennings.
Oh,
Kat
Kat
Dennings'
Dennings, yeah.
character
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Thor.
She's hilarious though. She's so funny.
No, she's great. She adds to every scene. I mean, I think a lot of why this whole episode worked was her and Randall Park were both just
Yep.
fantastic.
Yeah, that's true. I
It was
love
almost
Randall
like
Park too.
It was almost like a buddy cop show to a degree,
Yeah.
which was fun. Did you notice he was doing the magic trick with the cards?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, when he showed her the business cards.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's definitely one of those ones where, okay, let's advance the story, kind of put a little bit more meat on it to give us an idea of what's going on. And so, trying to fill in some of the holes. Still, obviously, a lot of questions, but
Sure.
it was interesting.
Yeah.
And unless they're throwing us for a loop on purpose, they've more or less confirmed that the reality that we're seeing for a majority of the show is sort of manifested by Wanda.
By her. Yeah.
Instead of by
Yeah.
someone to her. But Again,
Well, kind of. It's like the curtain was pulled back, and we don't know who the puppet master is, but we know there's a whole lot of puppets. I don't think it's just Wanda. I think there's something else going on.
and that's what I mean is like there may be something else a little more sinister behind the scenes, but she is at least to a degree responsible for it happening partially,
Yeah.
which
Well,
makes
she
sense
obviously
because
she obviously has some degree of control because she kicked that chick right the fuck out.
yeah,
You know.
Yeah.
and it makes sense because I mean, if you think about Age of Ultron, where we are introduced to her, she could just create like alternate realities in people's minds. And she's way more powerful than she was then. Like she's learned her abilities even better. So putting herself in that situation, I don't see that as being like super far-fetched in terms of her as a character. So we'll see.
Did anybody else
especially
feel
not
like
with the loss of vision.
this episode was kind of like a time warp? Like it felt like it was only like 15 minutes long.
It did
'Cause
seem
the
like it
pace
went
was
really
so
fast.
frenetic.
Yeah.
Like it just
I think
jumped, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
there's more, and I'm like, no, there's not. Shit.
Compared to the other episodes, they're much slower because they're emulating TV shows in an era where things were much slower. So yeah, there was so much happening this 30 minutes. It did feel like 15 or 20 minutes. I was like, oh, we're done? Fuck, like I want more.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but
it was cool
great.
how they explained all the stuff from outside, all the stuff that was weird for her,
Yeah.
like the helicopter and all that stuff.
The beekeeper
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
starting to unravel some mysteries.
And there's how many episodes are there? Is there 9?
9.
Yeah.
Pete
5 more.
confirmed that for us last week.
Yeah. So now it'll be interesting to see what they do next. Will it all be the TV show? Will it be somewhere in between or all outside?
The trailer that came up before the show ever came out suggests that there's going to be more happening in like the TV show realm.
Yeah.
But that the real world is going to start bleeding in more and more. Like they're going to start like, I feel like this was the bridge episode, and they're going to start fusing the alternate reality that Wanda's living in and real life kind of together slowly. So
we'll probably see it.
It's like,
I was gonna say, we're probably going to see them in their original costumes, like they've been teasing.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
right.
the
That's
Halloween
coming.
episode or whatever.
that looks like
Yeah.
looks like the 1980s Halloween. Like I think they're
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're gonna
Very
do like an 80s Halloween thing.
like kind of style.
It is
I read-
interesting now, though. It's established that we've got agents of S.W.O.R.D. inside, monitoring, working.
Yeah.
But you also have random townspeople. Like this town of Westview, New Jersey, is just like shut down in this whole thing, and they're part of her big giant.
Yeah, that's
like,
who I think
mass
all her neighbors
hallucination.
are. Yeah.
Yeah. They're just people from the town that got kind of trapped in there.
Yeah.
I read something that said that the when they do the Halloween costume thing, that was actually she pushed for that.
That's so
She
cool.
actually
Nice.
pushed to get that in the show. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's ironic too, because I remember she didn't want to have like a Scarlet
No,
Witchy costume originally. She was like, I don't want to be like in a red Speedo
Mhm.
type of thing. And so I think now she's embraced the character, and people have embraced her as the character, which I'm sure feels really nice for her.
Mhm.
So now she wants to pay homage, which I think that's super cool.
Well, that makes sense though too, given that like no one's going to think, oh, this is her new costume. They know it's a play on the actual costume
right.
from the comic. So
Yeah,
I
she
feel like
looked
she's-
pretty. Go ahead.
She's also the type of actress. I think she probably devoured all the original material on Scarlet Witch in the beginning. Like
She
she
might
did.
have.
She seems like the type to me that was like, okay, get me fucking every comic book, give me every omnibus you can. I want everything going back to the 70s. Just bring it on, and just sucked it all in.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go, and I'm really curious about the kids, like how long they stick around, because in the comic books those two are young Avengers, which they have at least rumored to be a film or series that's going to come out at some point. So
Okay.
we'll see.
all right, well, moving on then. Let's go ahead and get to your guys' franchises that you moved
Well, I'll
upon.
jump in real quick. I did watch a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
First off, I watched The Raid because it was
Nice.
suggested, and that movie was damn fine.
It's so good.
I enjoyed it quite a lot. And I've only watched The Raid 1. I haven't watched The Raid 2 yet.
Okay.
I'm going to do that, I think, this week.
Good.
But 1 was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect. I enjoyed it. It was super intense.
The
Mhm.
raid.
Yeah, the Raid Redemption is the full name of it technically.
Yeah, I mean, I
was
guess
it
technically it
Korean?
was released in Thailand.
Yeah, it's
Thailand.
not. Yeah,
Indonesia. Sorry, it's
Indonesia, yeah.
Indonesian. And they couldn't get the rights to the name, so when they brought it to America, they had to put the Raid, the Redemption.
Mhm.
But I mean, everyone really knows what the actual name of the movie is.
Yeah, right.
But so I watched that, and then we watched Promising Young Woman, which I think Opie said he also watched.
Last night.
Oh, that's the one with like the date rape chick, right?
Yes,
That looked
that movie
crazy
was
intense.
exceptional. It was
Yeah.
really, I loved it. My daughter loved it. My wife loved it. We all loved it.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that out.
It was
did
good.
you watch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it was good. I don't know what it was that didn't. I mean, all the performances were great. I thought everyone played their part. I don't know what it was. There's something about the way things just move throughout the film that because we're watching it. I was trying to think, I'm like, what is this going to be nominated for? Because that's why we're watching it, because we're trying to watch anything that might be nominated, and a lot of talk about this one. And I'm like, I didn't dislike it by any means. I'd say if someone asked me, I was like, yeah, I liked it. It's just there's something missing that I was like, just wasn't impressed. So I thought she did a good job. I don't know if she would be nominated. She probably will be, but based off everything else that's come out this past year. But yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, I went into it not knowing anything about it, not
Me
knowing it
neither.
as a contender or any. So I just, we went into it with a totally blank mind and enjoyed the hell out of it. And she was very good. I don't know that I would be like give her the Oscar. I don't know that.
Yeah, I think
she was very good.
Oh yeah, for sure. I thought that the way it kind of ended was a little. I think that's what. I don't know. I guess that might have been the part that I didn't like the most. Was just.
I think I really liked the ending. It was not what I expected. I mean,
oh, for sure, I didn't expect that either. It was just like, I don't know. Something about it just didn't sit with me.
Fair enough.
So,
what else, man?
But otherwise, yeah, it was a good movie.
And then we watched the movie Freaky.
Really?
For purchase. The Vince Vaughn Freaky Friday body swap with a murder at high school. If you've seen movies like The Babysitter or The Babysitter 2 on Netflix, Happy Death Day to You. Like if those are the kind of movies you like, then this is right up your alley. It's fun. It's stupid. It's still a horror film and there's still people getting killed, but it's very kind of lighthearted, if you can use that term for horror film. And, but it's fun. We had a lot of fun with it. We're also, talking shit throughout the entire movie. Like, why would you go in that door, dumbass? You should be going the other way. So
see, I can handle a movie like that if it knows it's stupid. Yeah.
So it's fun. It's one of those where you can just, talk at it the whole time and just really enjoy it. So we enjoyed that quite a lot too. And then we're going to discuss it, but I did watch all of the MonsterVerse movies this week. So
okay,
that's right. All right,
yeah, cool.
Yeah, when we get to that, I've seen them all except for the King of the Monsters, and I watched that a couple nights ago. So all right. So if there's nothing else,
I just real quick too. I think you've talked about it before, Opie, but I watched Queen's Gambit.
Oh yeah.
Finally, like I feel like everybody else on the planet's watched it, but I finally got around to watching it. And I don't know what I was expecting. It definitely wasn't quite what I was expecting. It was really good though. And it went pretty quick for being over an hour long episodes. Like the first episode felt like it was like 4 hours long, but then after that it kind of picked up. But the acting is really good. The story doesn't quite go the way you expect it to in a lot of places, so it was kind of interesting. Like her relationship with her mom, I always felt like I was waiting for the other shoe to drop and for her mom to just be a piece of shit. Like it just always felt like it was right there on the edge, and then she was always great. Like so, it was a cool.
I gotta think she'll be nominated.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too.
Good.
Yeah, she was really good.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that she's been in a bunch of other stuff I've seen or found out that she's in it. She's in the New Mutants, isn't she?
Yeah, but nobody saw
yeah.
that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying she was in that. She was also
Mhm.
in something else that I've seen. I was like, oh damn, I know that's the same girl.
Yeah, she's
But-
such an odd looking girl. And she's pretty, but she's so different looking.
She's very unique looking for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's good. It's a good show. We're still working on The Crown.
Mm.
So we just started season 3, where the basically the cast is moved because they're all
Yeah.
now, so I'll play by different. Which I see that there you have slotted for seasons 6 or see, this is 3, 4, 5, and 6. They're going older with the Queen again, and she's being recast again. So,
Isn't it Gillian Anderson?
No, that she's supposed to be playing. I haven't seen her yet, but she's
Margaret
supposed to play
Thatcher.
Margaret Thatcher.
Oh, okay.
But no, the woman that played Dolores Umbridge in Harry Potter,
Oh,
she's gonna be playing
Yeah.
the Queen.
Oh,
According
wow.
to IMDb,
That's a
Yeah,
good fit.
Yeah.
She's good.
for the older,
Yeah.
more current Queen. So, but that's
Speaking
just
of British royalty on TV, did you see that Kristen Stewart's going to be playing Princess Diana and
Princess
something?
Diana.
yeah. Did you see the
Yeah.
picture?
She
Yeah,
looks good.
I was shocked.
I mean that shot. I'm like, damn, she looks,
Yeah.
but that's a one angle.
It's one
So,
angle, so we'll see.
but
Kristen Stewart fairly short, and wasn't Princess Di fairly tall, or am I wrong on this?
Robert
I
Downey
don't
Jr.
know.
is pretty short, and he looks as tall as Chris
I-
Hemsworth in half
I
the
haven't
scenes he's
gotten-
in. So
I guess
That's true.
fair.
I haven't gotten that part in the show yet. I'll have to tell you when she makes an appearance on The Crown. I think it's season 4 or season 3.
oh god, oh
No, we lost Pete.
Oh.
Did
whoa,
you unmute yourself to cough, or
It hasn't made a sound in 20 minutes. And then he dies on film.
Yeah,
I'm
how
still
funny at the feet. Move to your left a little bit. Move a little to the left, like
He doesn't
cover the
have-
text. Oh, you can't hear anything.
He can't hear us.
anything.
He took off his headphones to die.
Hey,
Jesus
Pete,
Christ.
move to the left a little bit, like cover the tuxedo part.
I'm
All
still
right, are you-
chipping away at my Frankenstein show with Sean Bean. It's still
Hmm.
good.
Oh, okay.
Is
I'd
he
still
still
recommend-
alive?
No comment.
With the late Sean Bean, you mean?
Yeah.
No.
That's
It's not
just-
what it's not what you think.
Okay.
He never
Um,
was alive.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun-dun.
No, it's good. I don't want to say anything in case anyone wants to watch it. If no one wants to watch it in a few weeks, I can say what happened because it is very interesting. But
What was the name of it again?
The Frankenstein Chronicles, it's on Netflix.
Okay.
So it's still good. Chipping away on that and Deep Space Nine. That's pretty much,
Oof.
besides the other stuff we were going to talk about later, pretty much all I've seen this week.
Yeah, we've been
Okay.
chipping away further at Veep, almost done with it, which is kind of
Oh.
sad because it's so good.
Funny.
Like once you
It's-
really
yeah, it is.
it gets rolling, it's so good.
Did
Yeah,
you see
and,
Ian? Did you see Ian? When
No.
you-
Oh, that's
was it
right.
Ian?
Yeah.
He was
What
like
episode with Ian?
He's like, it was probably around season 2 or 3, I think. He was Jonah's roommate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so if you go back to earlier, it's only one scene, but it, it's Ian.
Yeah.
It always makes me laugh when somebody we were in theater with ends up on TV. I saw Sean Ryan on SVU, I think, or something like that once.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, what the
Sean
fuck?
pops up and he usually like gives us a heads up and then we watch
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
we get some of my wife's students now and then will get noticed that they're going to be on television. We'll watch for
That's
them.
cool.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Right on. All right. Well, then moving on now to the franchise chat. Pete's got the Roger Moore section of the 007 series. And last week, he regaled us with his review of Live or Let Die, which midway through that, I was voting for Die.
Yeah.
And
I
I can
took
only
the note.
imagine that this week, even though he said he was excited that he could plow through a bunch at a time, he's only watched one more, so we're gonna have to sit through the review of one
The
more.
full synopsis.
Just
No,
one
no,
movie.
Remember,
I-
keep it tight. Keep
I
it tight.
tightened it up this week.
Specifics.
I guess because it's been a while since I've really watched any Bond, and I forgot how formulaic these get and how quick they get that way. And it was Bond bangs a chick. There's a car chase. There's another boat chase randomly for some reason in this one that doesn't make any sense.
Was it an airboat?
No airboat this
It's
time.
totally different.
It would have been great if it was an airboat, but like in the ocean and not in the swamp.
Right.
And like
Yeah.
they're never in the
one
right
where
boat.
he's on an airboat. I don't remember which one it is, but there is one where he's on an airboat.
That I
One of the
think that's in Live and
Russian
Let, not Live and Let Die.
That might be Octopussy.
Yeah.
That might be Octopussy. I don't know.
So this one has Bond chasing Francisco Scaramunda, the man with the golden gun, who's this crack shot assassin that charges 7 figures. That's 1970s 7 figures for his assassinations. His gun is called the golden gun because it comes in like little pieces. It's like a cigarette case and a pen and all this stuff. And he only kills people with golden bullets. Up until Bond tracks him down, also, this is a fun little tidbit. No one has ever seen Scaramunda, but the one thing they know about him is that he has a third nipple.
Okay. All right.
This is an odd detail for everyone to know.
Exactly.
Does he wear
just
tight
kinda like,
shirts in cold settings all the
Yeah.
time? Like, how does-
Off to the side.
so,
Or is it in the
fight
middle of his
scene-
forehead?
Yeah. Where is
fight
it?
scene,
Like,
fight
is it
scene.
right next to the other one? Is it like in
you
Where's that
see
movie?
it in the
No,
in
you
the
don't
movie.
you never actually see it.
So everybody knows it's there, but nobody ever sees it.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
1974. Third nipples are grotesquerie. It's like some elf
Well, I mean,
shit.
they are today
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
not lie.
Yeah. I don't want to see that.
Yeah. Get out of here with that.
You don't, do you? No.
Yeah.
So the evil racist sheriff from Live and Let Die is back in this one, kind of inexplicably, and he actually helps James this time in yet another car chase.
Keep it tight.
Bond, again, just like the last one, nails the bad guy's assistant. Then there is the final closing battle where Bond has a duel with Scaramunda in this sort of maze thing on an island, and it's all really bad. My favorite scene was the closing credits.
Hey.
Closing. Hey.
Nice and concise. All right.
Sounds like if you want to take out James Bond and if you're a bad guy, you just make sure that all of your assistants have really bad sexually transmitted diseases.
Right?
Mhm.
That way, it's a slow play, but you'll get him eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to stack those up and just he won't be able to take it eventually.
Yeah. In the 80s ones. Give him AIDS. In about 10, 15 years, he's done.
In the 80s, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even less.
All right. Well, good. We got through it, guys. Now, since David, you are finishing up your franchise with your review tonight, and we'll be spinning for a new one. Alex, let's go to you next, since you have a very long road ahead of you, my friend. You have just watched Nightmare on Elm Street 2: Freddy's Revenge.
Yes, I have. And the long road has already begun. I'll just say that much. The first movie is forgivable in a lot of ways, and is a classic in a lot of ways as well.
Yeah.
The second movie is dog shit. It's really not good, and I'm concerned because I know you said it's still
It's all
better
downhill.
than what's coming up. and
it is.
I'm really concerned about my well-being in these next
Now-
few weeks.
Now the next one,
Dream Warriors, right? I think I
Dream
saw.
Warriors.
The
Now,
next one is so campy for its
Well,
own sake.
this one was the most commercially successful one
yeah.
The second
by
one was.
far. Third
No,
one.
the third one.
Oh, I see.
It was the most successfully commercially successful one. But
Okay.
this is where like
It
this
just
is
doesn't
where,
make
like-
sense. It doesn't fucking make any sense. They established like rules in the first movie and then still broke them in the first movie, but like broke them even worse in this one. They can't even follow
yeah.
their own fucking logic. It's so frustrating because I'm like, if they, oh, God, it's so dumb. And like nothing even really happens. Like if you're gonna watch a slasher flick, at least you'd hope like, oh, I'm gonna see some cool murders, you know, some cool, you know, like when Tina gets dragged up onto the ceiling
Yeah.
or other things like that. And they're not. There's like 2, I think, in the whole movie, and they're dumb. Like they're so dumb. Two major ones. Freddy kills a bunch of random people at the end. I think, I don't know, is the whole thing a dream? It doesn't make any sense. So, God, what a waste of time. I just,
Oh no!
I don't feel like this
you're
is
gonna
wasted at all.
reminisce about this one.
Yeah.
You're gonna reminisce about this one.
I will say that I appreciated how they tried to connect it back to the first one in the few very subtle ways that they did, but it also just made it make even less sense. I was like, it almost would have been better if they like just rebooted it entirely, but they didn't. It was just like, these people live in this house now, and apparently Freddy just haunts this house, even though that wasn't his thing originally. And now he possesses people, and they'll do stuff while they're awake, even though that wasn't. I'm just like, I just was like, I'm not even gonna fucking try to think about this because it's hurting my brain. And halfway in, I just started looking at my phone and like glancing at it every once in a while because I was like, I can't take this shit. It's so stupid.
Oh
Oh,
god,
you're
just
gonna
knowing
be
what you have in
so-
front of you, bro.
You're gonna be so angry. You're going to be so angry.
You know what I'm actually really excited for? I'm really excited to watch Freddy versus Jason because I've seen that one.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
And now seeing the quality of some of these films, I have a feeling that that's probably going to be the best one.
No.
I
I'd say Wes Craven's New
besides
Nightmare.
the first one, besides the first. Oh, and the New Nightmare. I forgot about
New
that one.
Nightmare is pretty good in my opinion. It definitely has its problems.
Am I
but-
watching the remake with Jackie Earl, whatever his name is, or
Jackie Earl Thomas or whatever.
Yeah,
Haley.
Jackie-
Jackie Earl.
yeah.
Haley, Jackie, yeah.
Whatever. We know.
Rorschach?
Yeah. He you
Is
don't
that
have
like
to
part
because
of-
it's
is
a
that-
remake.
Yeah, I
I
say
mean,
is that
it's,
part
it's
of it?
just it's just a remake of the first one.
Yeah, I know.
You might as well. Fuck at that point.
We'll see how I feel when I get there.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. Yay. Okay.
Fuck that movie.
And and the purple dinosaur, his push button car of all that would be fucking stolen in like a second.
Yeah, for sure.
So and then also there's talk about the movie being kind of like have a very homosexual vibe to it with the way the characters interact and the dialogue and all that. There's a whole thing on YouTube I saw about it.
Oh.
Where,
Between Jesse, the guy, and what's the other guy's name? His jock friend. I can't remember his name. But
yeah,
is that
I
who it's
think
about?
that's part of it. I don't remember. I just remember them talking about them, and I'm like, I'd have to rewatch it with that angle to see if I see the same thing. But I don't want to watch
rewatch
that
it.
again.
Don't
Yeah.
rewatch it.
See, I could because I know what I'm getting into,
Yeah.
and I can accept it for what it is. But just I don't want to. All right, David. By all means, let's close this out with the Hobbit, and then
Because you two didn't watch. Kevin and Opie didn't watch your franchises, right?
No, I got.
No, I didn't think
I
about
was
it.
monster versed.
That's fine. It's more important.
Yeah, I had lots of time, so I dove into it. But well, this one we actually had to schedule because I've been watching it again with my daughter and her friend.
Yeah.
And so we sat down, we watched this one last night, and
The Battle of the Five Armies.
Battle of the Five Armies. It's pretty much not necessary of a film. They tried to make it relevant by cutting off the end of the Desolation of Smog and just tacking it on to the beginning of this film, because the film starts with the assault of Lake Town and then the death of Smog and then moving on from there, but it doesn't feel right. Like, it doesn't feel exciting or interesting because they just throw you right into it. And I mean, I can't even imagine having waited a year and then coming to that and being like,
it was rough.
It didn't feel good. It should have been on the other movie, but I think their thought was, well, if we put it in the movie it's supposed to be, and no one will come to this last one.
Is this
because
one
it was unnecessary.
Is this in the original Hobbit book, or is this some of the stuff that they pulled to make their own story? Do you remember? Because I know when when they were making it, there was a bunch of extra shit.
There's a shit ton of the Hobbit book. So in the book itself, what actually happens during the Battle of the Five Armies is very loose. Like, the dwarves are fighting, the elves are fighting, and then the orcs come, and then the eagles come, and everybody's doing their thing. In this, the bulk of this movie is taking all of that and expanding it as to what actually happened during this battle.
Yeah, and
none of it's really in the book.
It's a lot, and we joked that it should have been called the accidental bridge, because every time they knock something down, it turns into this perfect accidental bridge.
Oh yeah.
The CG was not good in this movie. Some places it was fine, and other places it was just not good. They did some Looney Tunes crap, like the Weasley counselor from Lake Town, gets catapulted into a troll's mouth, and then that's how both of them die. You're just like, okay, that was thanks.
Yeah.
Legolas does some elf shit that's just
Peter Jackson's
mind-boggling.
Cash Grab Incorporated. Yes.
He's running across the falling tower.
Running across the falling tower as it's like,
like
the pieces are falling through space, and he's still somehow magically able to push on them and go upward. As though it's got
elves are very light. I mean, they've established that he walked on top of the snow in Lord of the Rings, and everyone else is walking through it. So they are
hardcore.
Yeah, but this is just.
It's still ridiculous.
General Newtonian physics would tell you that this is not working for us. But
Peter Jackson directed all three of these?
He did all of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they did it the same way they did Lord of the Rings. It was all shot at one time, and they did a shit ton of work. And there's some fun stuff in there. The scene where they banish Saruman was a pretty cool scene.
That's a super cool scene with the three elder wraiths. I like that scene a lot. That was
a very cool scene.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, it was fine. I'm glad I'm done. I'm glad I saw it. I didn't really care for that one. I feel like, the first one was not great. I really enjoyed the second one, and then the third one was just kind of a waste of time, I thought.
I did in the third one. One of the highlights for me, though, was when Billy Connolly shows up as Dane,
as a super CG'd ass dwarf.
Yeah. Riding a big pig.
How could you even tell? My wife was like, dude, that she was like, I feel sad for the actor. You can't even see that it
it's just the voice.
She's like,
it's just the voice.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. It's just the voice. It could have been voice. It could have been VO. Really.
Yeah.
That could have been completely CGI. They put him in that big helmet with a beard, and you're like, huh?
He didn't look human. He looked like he was entirely CG.
I think he was.
There was a thing. Yeah.
He might have mocapped it, but I think the character was more or less completely CG.
I don't know that they were using a lot of mocap because no one was moving like a person would move. This looked like they were just trying to animate them. I don't know. It kind of felt to me like Transformer movies where there's just so much going on. You just can't even like care for it anymore. You're like, okay, some dwarves died. Oh, look, another bunch of elves died. Like they're just, they haven't done any of the work to establish them. And then my favorite part in the whole battle is that the good guys, we'll call, the elves and the dwarves and Gandalf and whatnot, the good guys, they're being pressed back, and that's when Thorin decides to pull his head out of his ass and lead the charge, and somehow 13 dwarves turn the tide as though they were reinforced by like 4 armies. Right?
Yeah.
Like they start thrashing the other side because 13 more of them showed up. I mean, imagine what kind of shit they could have wrecked in the beginning with all of their armies if they just had those 13 more.
Yeah. Who knows? And 13 dwarves who within the movie have established they're not all warriors.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, how are they turning the tide of this fucking battle? Yeah, that scene was so like, okay. Like,
and then my favorite part, was like, let's go hunt the big bad orc that's trying to wipe out my bloodline, and just to make sure that he gets it done, I'm going to bring only them with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, you just led him. Everybody, like, he succeeded at wiping out the bloodline because you all came to him.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, okay.
Yeah.
See, this is why I didn't watch
Jackson's
The Hobbit.
work.
It's
Why
not
didn't watch it
horrible. I wouldn't. I
No.
would not compare it to Transformers like David.
No,
just
I
did.
still. I mean, there's
But
problems.
it's not
I
as
still
good as
really
Lord of
like
the
them.
Rings.
Yeah, no, not by far, but I still really like all 3 of them. Again, part of it's that story just has a really
Now he's never going
Like,
to watch them.
deep place in my heart. I know, right?
Yeah. Way to
Yeah,
sell
there's
it.
no-
Dave.
just
That tells me nothing and everything at the same time.
the problem is if
I'm
you,
not
if you
gonna-
really wanted to split the book up into 3 movies, they should have only been 90 minutes long at the most. They're all so bloated with
Yeah.
extra stuff.
Yeah, they're very padded.
That there's so much of it, even in the battles, and a lot of it's just really cool, fun, battle type shit where you're just like, you could have cut out like 10 minutes right there. Like I didn't.
They could have
didn't need
cut
that
out
at all.
And this one's a shorter one. It only runs like 2.5
Yeah.
hours. It's not like
Only 2.5
This
hours.
is
2.5
extended
hours
cut,
the shorter
so-
one.
Yeah, that's one of the shorter ones. But they probably could have cut 50 minutes of useless battle out.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's so much in there that you're just like, whoa. And I'm not saying the whole movies is like Transformers. I'm just saying that when the Transformers are fighting in a Transformers movie, I don't really give a shit.
Oh, that's
I
fair.
think that's for me why the Transformers movies fail. And that's how I felt through a lot
Cool.
of the battles in this. Like I just didn't give a shit.
There's a lot more in there to help it fail, my friend. A lot
It's
more.
true.
All right. Well, now that you finish your franchise, it's time to spin the wheel
Yeah, let's spin
for
that
a
wheel.
new one. Let's see if I can get this up here.
Again, Lord of the Rings.
Let's
It
go.
disappears in
it's,
your background.
Just
Hold
put it in
on.
front of you specifically. It should stay up.
Right.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. There you go.
There we go.
Just put it in. Yeah, in
Keep
front
it
of your face.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Down-
but when I
No,
get too
no,
close,
It's still there's
Hold
the
on, hold
green
on.
on the phone. It's like
Hold
the banner at the
on.
top.
yeah,
it's
let
green.
me change this.
Kill
People
the
who are
virtual
just
background
listening
for
to
the
this
spin.
are like, "What's happening?"
You're like, what's happening?
know,
right?
No problems.
I'm sure Pete will edit this.
Oh hell no!
Hey, we can't forget our online watching this right now, which I know is nobody.
What is
Yeah.
our
How many views do our YouTube
There we go.
videos have?
yeah.
I think almost 0. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Sweet Christmas.
Even after all the times I didn't watch. All right.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna hit it. Here we go.
Hold on,
Alright,
let
spit it
me
out.
get it
Oh.
here.
Hey, Opie, go full. Let's see here.
There, we'll
There we go.
do. Well, it's just I don't know whether. There we go. Let's do that. Come on.
Here we go. It's amazing.
think you
Amazing
tap the middle.
radio.
There we go.
What is it? What is it? What is it? It
Yes,
is.
born.
Oh, he almost got Transformers.
Karate Kid.
Oh, Karate Kid! I'm totally down for that.
Ugh.
So
Is that just
was-
parts 1 through 3, or do you have to do the Jaden Smith one too?
Oh no, James
you gotta
Smith
do
as
it
well.
all.
Yeah,
No.
and the
There's
Hillary.
4.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yes.
and
four.
the Hillary
4
Swank.
from the original
Hillary Swank, yeah.
franchise. Yeah, we just watched. The girls watched the first one. That's all we made them do.
Well, I haven't seen it in such
the
a
rest
long
of child
time.
abuse.
Although,
Have you seen them all?
oh yeah, I've seen them all.
Oh, okay.
But when I was a kid, I don't think I've seen any of the other ones other than the first one more than once. So I think I saw them
perfect. And you
once.
just saw Cobra Kai, so
But I saw Cobra Kai, so I feel like I've seen the whole franchise. So
yeah.
they show
So
they
now-
show it
so-
so many times.
Oh no!
Oh.
Wait till the Hillary Swank one.
Oh,
this is
man.
good. Yeah.
Oh, the third one. The third. Wow.
But the third one
Uh,
has all kinds of tie-ins to Cobra Kai now.
Yeah.
It's going
For-
to, yeah.
From what
so
I
you might as
read,
well
I don't
watch it.
remember this. I've only read this.
That's what I think he's calling.
Fuck.
That's exactly who I think he's
Exactly.
calling.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
This is only going to expand my knowledge of the Cobra Kai universe. So
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
gonna
it's
explain
really
so
the win.
much.
The
It's gonna
karate-verse.
explain so much.
Yeah, like the
Karate-verse.
dude he talks to in Okinawa. You'll remember that from the second one. The whole tea
I
ceremony. like,
swear they should have Hillary Swank come in as a guest too, looking for Mr. Miyagi.
That
the
would be
best.
it's
right.
hilarious.
That'd be awesome.
All right. Well, you enjoy that, sir. And then also, the one with Jaden Smith. That one's part of the.
Oh,
That one I'm not excited to see. I've actually heard it's not too bad, but
I have heard it's not too bad either. I haven't
it's a
seen it.
waste of Jackie Chan. Is what it is.
Yeah.
Really.
yeah, I just
Of
like,
his
there's-
incredible acting
After-
ability, or
After seeing the Raid, you're just gonna be so unimpressed by all the karate
I
in these
know.
movies coming up. The Raid's martial arts is so fucking insane and good.
It's so insane. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna watch Jaden Smith just at
Fucking
least with like
flounder
Cobra Kai,
around.
like I'm used to watching that really slow like
Yeah.
karate, so that fits. But
Or you're gonna watch a bunch of it right now. All right. So, having put that to bed, do we want to take a
Okay.
break, or are we good to
Is it
keep
still
going?
I'm fine, but if
think it's-
anyone wants to
yeah.
take a break, we can.
I'm
I
fine.
mean, yeah. Just is there any water leaking out of it?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Okay,
Pete's
we'll-
trying to
let's sit
troubleshoot a
like
roof
that.
leak.
technical difficulties.
So, honey, I'm on the show. How many times have I told you?
He's like, I'm walking the dog.
I'm with my friends.
Oh,
my
meatloaf!
Everything okay there,
Ma!
Pete?
The meatloaf. Fuck! I never know what she's doing back there. That's his best role. I'm
No, yeah. The oldest just came downstairs and said they somehow accidentally dropped an Apple TV remote into a cup of water.
Oh, perfect.
So
okay.
yeah, I said,
All
well,
right.
just
Have
let
fun
all the-
spending $80 on a new Apple TV remote.
Yeah. You might as
Yeah,
well
no,
just buy a new Apple TV.
Seriously, get one
just
for
use your
another room.
phone.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
can't-
just use her phone.
You can just use your phone. That's true.
Yeah.
So that's funny. All right. Well, then moving on. We're talking now since the trailer for Godzilla versus Kong came out. Some of us took the liberty and went and watched all of the movies in that franchise to current, which it consists of Godzilla,
2014.
Kong Skull Island. Yeah, 2014. Thank you. Godzilla 2014, Kong Skull Island, and then Godzilla King of the Monsters, which came out 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
2019 that that movie
2019?
came out.
Yeah,
I believe
Pretty
so.
sure 19.
It
And
was Kong Skull Island.
No.
King of the Monsters.
No,
King of the Monsters. Hold on. Is 2019.
Good job.
All right, no, I got them all pulled up in IMDb. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
What do you want to know?
You ready now?
It didn't seem
Which
like
one-
you were ready to go at all.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
I did not get that feeling.
Yeah, you know how like Alex said 2019, you're like, I'm on it. Hold on. Where's my Yahoo?
I'm
Can you
Jeeves.
just
Could
hear him
you-
calling down the hallway?
Godzilla. Is there 2 L's in Godzilla? 2 Godzilla.
You just hear him going like, "Hey, can
Yeah.
you grab me one of those free AOL discs real quick?"
Yeah. Just have your daughter come down and show you how this stuff works.
So
She's,
does
she's obviously
the,
still awake, so
does the like 2004 King Kong? That is a different Kong from the Naomi Watts.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this. That's
Yes.
not part of this.
yeah.
universe.
No,
Okay.
that's
Not part of
a
it.
I, for some reason,
essential
thought that was
remake
like
of the original.
That is a remake
Okay.
of the original Kong movie. Yeah.
Mhm.
So then the real it's just Kong Skull Island is the only really Kong that we've gotten so far for this movie.
Yeah,
All right,
For
cool.
this universe, yeah.
Are they calling it the Monster Universe, or it should be like the
The Mon-
Monarch Universe? Because Monarch's like what
Monarch
ties it
is the
together.
It's the monster verse is sort of the short term for it that
The
just
Titans.
thrown around the
Yeah.
internet. I don't know if they have an official name for it. They just call it the monster verse.
Well, the MonsterVerse was originally going to be, I think it was Universal. They were going to have.
You're
The
thinking of the
Mummy,
dark. You're
Frankenstein,
thinking of the
all
dark
that.
universe.
Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah, that's right.
And then Tom Cruise's Mummy blew that all the shit.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see some of those.
Hell yeah,
Mhm.
the Creature from the Black Lagoon, like the Wolfman, like
I'd love to see a new Frankenstein.
Oh, great! But we're all watching Godzilla.
all right, yeah, back to that.
Oh yeah.
You know how this works. Nothing
So,
stays on track.
No. Have you not watched this show? Or
So
listened?
so
As I say, no one's
Kevin-
watched it.
Kevin and David, you guys both rewatched or watched the all three back to back, right? Well, most of the third one for you, Kevin, but
Mhm.
you guys watched those recently. Alex, did you watch any of those this past week?
I don't need to. I've seen them all a number
Yeah.
of times.
Well,
I just watched 2014 Godzilla on Christmas because my holiday
Oh,
tradition
yeah,
is to
that's
watch a Godzilla movie on Christmas. So I
and
saw that
Peanut,
one.
Did you rewatch any of those this week?
No, but I've seen like Kong Skull Island and King of All Monsters. Like I've watched recently enough that I remember, especially King of All. I picked up like because it's on like HBO or
King
something
of
right
the
now. Anyway.
Monsters.
King of the Monsters.
He's renaming it. He's got the internet in front of him though. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Set
I
up.
watched all the King Monster one. I watched okay. So
I had not seen any of them, so this was all new for me.
This was your
We
first
just
time.
kinda
Oh, really?
jumped in for the whole series.
So I had watched both Godzilla and King of the Monsters within the last year. Or I'm sorry, Skull Island and in 2014 Godzilla. And then King of the Monsters came out on HBO Max a couple months ago. I was like, I want to see that, get around to it. So that's the only one I hadn't seen, which I watched the other night. But since you two watched them recently or are more fresh, why don't you guys go and then I'll chime in around on the third one. But the one thing I will say is after watching the third one and also having a fresher memory on Skull Island than I do the 2014 Godzilla, I feel like the 2014 Godzilla so far has been the best out of the three films.
It's
It
probably
depends on what
Yeah.
angle you look at it from.
Yeah.
So human story wise and all that, it's definitely the
My
best.
head not exploding kind of
Yeah.
frame of mind.
But from a monster action standpoint,
Yeah.
King of the Monsters was probably the more exciting film in that regard. But the first one was the better overall movie for sure. The acting was better and the story was better for the characters. Kong Skull Island, like you said, we kind of touched on it before, but they took a great cast and kind of just wasted them in Skull Island. But I still really enjoy the first of the Godzilla movies. I thought it was a lot of fun.
All right, well, let's start there. Since we'll start with Godzilla 2014, when this is kind of like a reboot. The one before was 98. Was that the?
We don't talk about
monstrosity?
that one. We don't talk about that one.
But that
Matthew
was the last
Broderick.
time. Yeah, it's funny. I was just watching on YouTube. They had this montage of the Godzillas through the years, and they went from I think 54. I think was around when it
54
first
is the
came out.
first movie. Yeah.
So it would show Godzilla then and kind of every year. And then when it got to 2000 or 1998, then it started going into like 2000, 2004, whatever. And there's still like being produced in China, like the original
Japan.
version. Japan.
Yeah, Toho Studios continued to make Godzilla movies even after
Yeah.
that 98
It
film.
was funny. I'm like,
Yeah.
some of it started to look a little better, but you're still really on the cheesy side. Obviously there's
Mhm.
somebody in a suit kind of thing. So I didn't know that. I was surprised to see that.
Yeah.
And then they get to 2014 and it's like, okay, it's a pretty cool evolution. If you're interested, it's just on YouTube. It's like 10 minutes.
Well, what I liked about the new Godzilla is that it's obviously new, it's CG and all that, but they kind of did a good job physically making him very similar to the cheesy man in a suit Godzilla's.
Yeah.
Like,
He's kind of chunky and moves slow, and
Yeah.
yeah, he's
kinda
got
waddles.
big fat legs and longer arms and all that. And I thought it was really cool because he does look like an actual lizard, but at the same time he's got that kind of semi cheesy look too.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, they did a really good job kind of reining it back in from the 98 version of him, which just looks like a mutated iguana, which is what it is.
Exactly what it was, yeah.
And he looked really bad in that movie. And I was really excited to see his manifestation in these newer films. Like, he's got those thick ass thighs and just everything about
obviously
his
does squats.
Oh yeah, he's leg day all day.
Yeah, he doesn't miss leg day, boys.
Yeah, look at his arms, man. He's not
Yeah.
doing anything. It's all leg day.
He's all, get by me.
Can fill out this leg day survey. We'll put it into this leg day babe beret.
So yeah, I mean, you got Bryan Cranston in there, and I don't remember much of the story behind. I remember,
So the gist of the plot with him is in the very beginning, he's working at a nuclear power plant, and his wife dies in whatever disaster they have, and he gets caught up trying to figure out why it happened.
Yeah.
And that's why he's always kind of tracking Godzilla and echolocation and stuff like that. That's kind of his introduction.
You come to find out
character.
that the creature, whatever it was called, I forget.
Muto.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was the Muto that caused that, not Godzilla.
That's right.
Yeah, so the Muto, buried in there and caused the whole thing. I will say that the smoke cloud of radioactive debris at the beginning of the film was probably the low point. That was, they're outrunning it, and it looked worse than the black cloud of Lost chasing people through the forest. You're just like, how are they outrunning like what amounts to like
radiation?
Yeah. And that it's so nice and cleanly defined for them so that they can see it and run from it.
It's a big deal.
It was not great, but I thought this movie was actually quite good.
It's a very good movie.
I didn't know what to expect, and I really liked it. They kill off Bryan Cranston a little too early for me, but
which was very unexpected.
Yeah,
I didn't expect him to die in that.
No,
I could see it happening. Just
cool.
When it happened was like, whoa, okay, I guess we're not going to rely on his acting chops for the rest of the flick.
Yeah.
Nope.
And then I will say it was really amazing how they managed to get his son to every single Godzilla fight in the entire movie. That dude does not miss a single one.
Nope.
So like hell or high water, they're going to get him to that fight.
Well,
which is actually
wait for him to get there.
Yeah. Which is actually one of the things I do appreciate about the sequel, in the sense that they have a different cast, because it would be even more unrealistic if this same guy was like all the time like, oh, Godzilla is fighting, like, oh shit, like I'm here again. Like, so I'm glad that they made the story bigger and broader.
And we moved to Boston to get away from this whole thing, and there's my wife and kids in the thick of it again. Yeah,
right.
I mean, they still had that storyline, but it was a different.
I don't remember. Was Kyle Chandler in the first one?
No. The only people who came back were Ken Watanabe as Dr. Serizawa and Sally, his assistant.
Yeah.
And the general does make an appearance in the second film as well.
Does he?
White-haired general. It's very brief, but he's in that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He's on the monitor. Live.
Yeah.
So fuck that. It's like, okay, I'll be in it. Just shoot me. Like, just bring the camera here. Green screen me. Okay, because that was one thing when I was watching it. I was like, well, I don't remember Kyle Chandler. I remember Kyle Chandler being in like King Kong, but that's not part of this universe. And so I was trying to remember. And then they kind of show a little backstory as to why he's important.
Yeah.
So okay, Godzilla was for all intents and purposes, I remember always enjoying it. So I think and then having seen Skull Island. So Kong Skull Island, I remember the previews looked cool, it looked very stylistic in the way it's
Mhm.
shot. Like the kind of just the lighting seemed very, you know, Hollywoodish,
Mhm.
in my opinion.
Mhm.
Thought the cast looked good on paper. And
Yeah,
I was extremely disappointed with that film.
I mean, these films are not meant
To be
for you to
good.
care about the people. Is the thing.
Well,
yeah,
obvious.
They're
that's where
setting up
the
the
issue comes up.
monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have so much footage of the people doing things and saying things, and you know,
Of course.
and so you gotta like trudge through that bullshit just to see a glimpse of a monkey. It's gonna be tough.
I will say
I
they
did
gave Kong a ton of screen time though in
Yeah.
They
Skull
did.
Island.
That's true.
And I will say what this one did right, and the previous one like really missed. The previous one, you went like an hour and 10 minutes into the film before you even see the fucking monkey. This
Yeah.
one,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the first 30 seconds, they're like, here's the monkey.
Yeah, he's all
You
over
all
it.
get it right away. Like you get it
Yeah.
out of your system. Cool. Now we're gonna give you some story.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
like that. I was
Yeah,
like,
that,
hey,
the
cool,
director
monkey.
even said he made it a point to make it like he didn't want it to be where you don't. It's not like an Alien type situation where you
Mhm.
don't see the monster until like the end of the film. He's like, you're in Kong's home. Like he's just gonna be moving around his home. He's not gonna be hiding from people. He's just gonna be doing his daily whatever, going about his business. Like he's not gonna be like sort of shrouded. He's just gonna be going about his day. And I like that they made a point to make it a monster movie where the monster is a significant part of the movie. Like and it's not all at night. It's not shaky cam footage. It's not like shrouded by fog and other things that the Godzilla movies definitely do suffer from. Even the second one where we had already seen him and they still shroud him in shit all the time. And it's like, we know what he looks like. Just show us the fucking lizard.
Yeah. That being said, though, I do think that in this whole franchise, that they do a nice job of giving the monsters personalities, right? Even
Oh,
Godzilla,
for sure.
Right.
like Godzilla's a character. Like he's
Oh, yeah.
the main character. And sometimes in these monster movies, they're the monster to be fought, but
Yeah, they're just mindless, like whatever.
But Godzilla has a personality, and and
I think that comes out of some of the older Godzilla movies, though, because like I've never seen them, and I know Alex has seen like all of the old Godzilla movies. That's kind of
He's
your
my
jam.
boy.
But one time I took my wife to get a tattoo, and the tattoo parlor was cool. They had some TVs in the background, and they were playing an old Godzilla movie, and it would just happen to be the story felt similar to the actual 2014 movie, but it was interesting because people in some of these movies look at Godzilla as the savior, like he's out there to save humanity. And at the end of this particular movie, it was almost the exact same ending where he collapses in the city, after winning, and everybody thinks that he's dead. And then that particular Godzilla, instead of walking into the water and swimming away, he kind of evaporates into like this dust or stars or some shit at the very end, and it was a real trip.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because it sends home the point that this guy's just a hero that's here to come fucking save everything when there's no other choice. Now, granted, this whole thing was it was definitely very Japanese, and there was no audio, so I don't know what was happening in the movie other than looking up.
Well, ironically, Godzilla he started out as not the hero.
Yeah.
He was a metaphor for nuclear war and the bombs that were dropped on Japan. And he was very much just mindless chaos for the first few films, which is, they obviously kind of turned it around eventually. But even there's obviously the original Godzilla versus King Kong movie. There is an older one where Toho was able to borrow the likeness and character of Kong for like a showdown. Godzilla loses that. Like that's the studio that makes Godzilla made Godzilla lose because he was a villain still at that time. And then after that is when the shift started happening. They did like Son of Godzilla where he has a kid and you see him like as a parent, and there's all these other monsters that he fights. And slowly over the years, they actually do throw boulders to each other.
I saw they showed that in that little montage. We're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
It's really bad.
But
It would have been better if they were tossing tanks back and forth.
that would be cool. Yeah.
Just people,
It's
just
not
throwing people to
The-
each
the-
other.
After the
So-
original few films, like that middle section of Godzilla is just super fucking camp. It's cheesy as hell, but it's just fun and kind of stupid, and you just kind of go with it. But him becoming the hero, it took a while for him to like achieve that status. So I'm
It's
glad.
it's like a wrestler.
Yeah,
wrestler.
yeah, he's the Rock. He was a villain at first. He was a heel at first, and then now he's a face or whatever they call it. But yeah, I like that they sort of made him. They even kind of give subtle hints to it in the 2014 version. He's sort of like a Kurosawa samurai. Like he travels to where the danger is, takes care of it, and then just walks away. And he sacrifices himself in like physical ways to make sure that everyone in the village is safe. And they even kind of hint at that in the first one. Like there's a shot of him and like this little Japanese flute plays like very subtly in the background, very like old Japanese movie style. And it's cool because obviously it's an American movie, like this 2014 version, but they still really pay homage to Japan, and like the movie starts in Japan, and they make sure that it's not, we don't just like appropriate him. Like he's still kind of from there. And I don't know, I thought they did a really good job with like you said, David, he's a character. They did a good job with his character and making him something that you care about, not just like cool smash buildings. And then like, they gave him a lot more.
Yeah,
No,
that's
and
one
he
thing.
is
He's
the
like
hero of the movies. I was telling my wife that. I
Mhm.
was like, it's really cool. It's not what I expected like it would be, because I don't have a lot of exposure to this. So I was like really pleasantly surprised when he was the hero, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm excited to see how this goes. And then Kong is the same way, right? Kong's the hero of the island as well.
Yeah.
Unlike Opie, I liked Kong Skull Island.
Yeah, I did too.
It wasn't bad. I went into it with a totally open mind, expecting absolutely nothing. I thought, some of the cast was wasted. I'm blanking on his name. The guy
Samuel
who
Jackson.
played Sam Jackson.
John
was
Goodman, Tom
entirely
Hiddleston,
wasted.
Brie Larson.
No, but
John
I
C.
felt like
Reilly.
John C. Reilly. John C.
Yeah,
Reilly
John C.
was
Reilly.
great. He, for me, he like kept the movie rolling.
I liked him.
He was so
much
fun.
He
The
was
scene
fun.
at the end with him specifically was it was just such a good cherry on top of that movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because again, like Godzilla, Kong is the star of that film, but you do come to care about some of the humans, mainly just him. The other ones are kind of whatever.
Yeah.
And so it was nice to see
Yeah.
him get that closure.
I think Sam Jackson's
liked
character was
Loki,
probably
but-
Loki.
he was good. Hiddleston, yeah.
Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston.
Oh yeah.
But I could have done with a little less. Captain Marvel is Jane Goodall. Like she, I don't know. I didn't love the character.
It's like they put her in there because in the original King Kong he had the girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Ray.
That's
like
what
that was
she
her
was.
sole purpose was to be the
Like
female
when he picks her out of the
human.
water at the end and everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's not a great character, and not that Brie Larson did a bad job. It just wasn't anything to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sam
I
Jackson's
thought-
character was, I did appreciate that he almost got his motherfucker in.
Almost. So close.
But I feel like anybody could have played that part. Like it just didn't seem like it was anything special for him. And
It was.
I
I would say that for almost everyone in the movie. Like
That's true.
anyone could have played that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think John C.
Or-
Reilly was really the only standout. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
he kind of
completely.
walked a really nice balance of humor and compassion and
him and that
insanity.
kid, the
and-
kid that he's kind of at odds with through the scenes that they share.
Hmm.
They were fun because like he was like, "You're a fucking idiot," and he's like, "You're a fucking idiot," like
Yeah.
they had their banter, and that was cool because that character could have been played by anybody, and it kind of was like, who the fuck is that kid, right?
Yeah.
But I liked that more than almost anything else in the movie, as far as the human side of it goes.
There was some good stuff. I really liked the grizzled old veteran guy. He was really rad. I loved the way he went out. He was going to go out in a blaze of glory, and he just got like knocked into a hillside. and blew
yeah.
up. And that was
Yeah.
like the best. Like, well, I didn't see that coming. Like, I thought he was going to do some good.
Like he would do a
thought he was
little
gonna get
damage.
swallowed,
Waste.
and yeah.
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 Complete waste of a sacrifice.
Yeah.
They did some pretty ballsy stuff like that. Like when they killed the soldier who always wrote to his son.
Yeah.
Like I expected him to make it all the way through, especially because he was like by himself. So I expected him to like somehow overcome the odds and make it back to his squad. But no, like he was just unceremoniously slaughtered. And it was just like, wow,
swallowed.
Okay. Yeah. Like I didn't see that coming.
And
So
then
I like too how
later.
there were nods to the original Kong in there. So when you get to the field of skeletons and all that, there's a couple of dinosaurs in there because that was in the original. They had the giant spider scene, which was kind of a throwback to the original.
Kong tries to pull the jaws on the skull crawler apart to like break his jaw /
which he
neck,
did
like he
with
did with
the T-Rex. Yeah,
that's what he did with the T-Rex in the original and in the remake that Peter Jackson did. And he kind of tries, but like it doesn't quite work out for him, so he has to figure out something else. But I kind of like that, like because when you see it, you're like, oh, he's about to do the thing. Oh, he doesn't have them anymore. But
yeah, and then he rips his guts out through its tongue.
Oh man,
that was pretty dope.
That was unexpected. I like that.
Punches him through the mouth and pulls out his intestines.
Yeah.
I was like, all right,
he had
that's one way to do it.
He had some good kills.
Yeah. He better not do that to my boy Godzilla. He won't, but you know.
No. Because he's not going to fight Godzilla, goddammit.
They will, but then they'll fight something else. We'll talk about that after we finish.
Yeah, we'll get there.
King of the Monsters, which since you've been quiet, Opie, what did you think?
Yeah, let's get to your film, buddy.
Well, you guys were right. You guys talked about it, I guess last week when we were talking about watching it. You were right. The monster stuff is really cool, and the people stuff is really bad.
Yeah.
And really bad is an understatement, man.
And it's another one where I like the cast. Like I love Vera Farmiga. I love Millie Bobby Brown. I like Kyle Chandler.
I think Millie did okay. She's about the only one in my eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I like everybody too. Charles Dance.
Yeah, Charles Dance.
All of them. And
well, he showed up, and I was like, "Fucking Lannisters, man! They fuck everything up."
I was like, okay. Sure, I mean, hats off to Kyle Chandler being a civilian, be able to call missions. With the U.S. military. I'm like, damn, dude, that's a hell of an afternoon.
Yeah, he'd stand up and say something in real life, and immediately someone would go, "Sit down!" Like you just
And I do like how not only is Ice Cube's son, apparently one of the only military men that we have, because he's at every single battle in the middle of all the shit and surviving, but also able to maintain such a luscious beard in the fucking military.
Sure.
I'm like, are you serious? And apparently
he's Monarch Special Forces.
One thing I did notice though is that I feel that in movies, whenever there's a military helicopter being flown, women have cornered the market on being the helicopter pilot. It's almost like the movie's going, look, we're being diverse. We have a woman helicopter pilot. Yeah, you always fucking have a woman helicopter pilot. Yeah, I saw her in Avatar. I saw her in, it's like, Jesus Christ.
It'd actually be more diverse to have a man.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Have the woman do something else.
I just thought that was interesting. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It just makes me laugh. I'm like, I'm seeing that more often than not. It's like, all right, you can be the helicopter pilot, sweetheart. Go fly your little whirly bird. So yeah, I thought that was very interesting. Apparently the U.S. military consists of about 3 or 4 of the same people, because again, they're at every battle.
You'd think with a film with this kind of budget that they could have had a couple other extras, like, because it's not like he was like delivering lines or anything. It was always just him being like, come on in. Like,
he had like a one-liner here and there.
We got you. Like, they were like, there was so little. They could have had like a dozen other extras and it would have felt fuller. But you're right. He's in every scene in which they need a military guy.
Everything.
Oh, yeah.
Like Rodin with his literal typhoon storm winds flies over a city and he's in it and he's like, he's okay. Like, I'm just he's good. Like everyone else getting blown away. And
he like held on and like was able to keep the kid as well. Yeah.
And then they got their Titan fighter, warplane
which is like a flying city.
Quite maneuverable for the size. I gotta say, I'm like,
you see. I think we talked about this on this show. I think we talked about
No.
King of the Monsters.
We did talk about it when I watched it. I think.
Yeah,
no, and I
'cause we
really?
talked about
I went and saw it in
we
the
talked about the
theater.
preposterousness of this plane.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
just how ridiculous, and how from Godzilla 2014, which is very, very grounded.
Yeah.
Like other than it being King Kong, like the world around around Godzilla was very real. Like it was.
Yeah.
And then 5 years later, we have flying fucking cities that house like 58. Like all of a sudden, they're Shield. Like they're fucking, like it's like the leaps they took after they found Godzilla. They're like, well, fuck. Now that there's a monster. out
Yeah.
Well, I feel like
Yeah,
they
it's
made
like
that-
every bank in
UFOs.
the world just gave them money and said, "Do whatever you need."
Yeah, I think that's
like,
the justification is that Godzilla was then a known quantity. No one knew
Right.
about him except for Monarch before the first film, and now the whole world knows about him. So they probably got
and-
military funding and whatever else.
in Kong
Mhm.
Skull Island, I mean, they are begging and pleading for anything to
And,
you know.
yeah.
And then once they get back, probably Kong is now a known quantity, and so they're
Yeah.
able to get a little bit more.
But he was isolated. Like the thing about Kong was always that
Yeah.
he was on that island, right?
And they've
So
already
how many
established.
years?
Oh, go
How
ahead.
many years passes from Godzilla to King of the Monsters?
But
It's in real time basically.
Right? I think
so
it's
it's
real
like
time. Yeah.
it's
So
5 years.
So 5 years ago, or so we'll say now, 7 years ago, the world is introduced to Godzilla, and then maybe a couple years or however longer, they know about King Kong. And the last year, they find 15 other of them around the
Well, they
globe.
knew about Monarch knew about them,
Yeah.
but they weren't showing people that they existed. It was the same thing
Yeah,
with
that's
Godzilla.
true.
But I don't
Monarch
think
was
the
monitoring
average
all
people
of them.
don't know about King Kong yet. I mean,
Right.
That's true.
that whole movie took place in the 70s.
Right.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it
then
was
I
Vietnam
guess, okay,
era.
they would, yeah, okay.
And they've
So-
established already in the extended lore that after they found Kong, that Monarch built a base on Skull Island to monitor his movements and like just kind of keep tabs on him, make sure he wasn't doing
Gotcha.
anything.
Well, that makes sense. They
Funky.
built in King of the Monsters. They've built a base everywhere.
Every
Yeah,
place they found a
around
Titan.
all of these.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, but with the Skull Island, it's got the storm and shit, so it'd probably be harder to get to. But they managed.
But the plot of this film is just absolute trash.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The human plot.
Terrorist
The
from
human
inside.
plot.
The human plot. Yeah, is just. But even so, I thought there were too many monsters. I mean, it was just too much. They could have.
It would be nice to
dialed
see
it
them
back a
saved
little
for
bit.
future movies. Yeah.
Yeah, but
They
Mothra
did-
was dope, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
They brought in the big four right away. Like these are the big
Mhm.
four. Godzilla has a lot of nemesis and allies throughout all the movies, but Ghidorah, Rodan, and Mothra are the main ones. And they were just like, fuck it. Like, here
Yeah.
you go. Which I'm like, okay, that's cool because who knows these days if these movies are going to get greenlit. I may never be able to see
Yeah.
these monsters if I don't see them now.
That's
But
true.
also, yeah, they totally blew their load like really quickly.
that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
It felt like a later X-Men film where they're just like, who can we cram in here, right?
Yeah.
Like, they
Vinnie
always start off
Jones.
small, right, and then by the end they're just like shoving X-Men, all kinds of X-Men in. So
Yeah.
this just didn't. I liked them, but it just felt like there was too much.
Yeah,
But
I
the fights
totally
were still
understand that.
really cool. I mean,
My favorite scene in that movie, like every time I watch it, is when Rodan emerges and then has that chase scene like over the ocean with the jets and just like the music that's playing during that scene. And then at the end, they run into Ghidorah and then Godzilla shows up. It's just like, oh, that whole sequence is just so fucking cool. And then they use the oxygen destroyer on Godzilla and Ghidorah, which is actually a callback to the original Godzilla film. That's how they kill him in the original film, is when he's sleeping under the ocean. They drop the oxygen destroyer down there and it suffocates him and he dies. And I was just like, that's such a cool fucking nod. Like, and it's like a blink and you'll miss it type of thing because the general says it once and then that's it. And then they use it. And I was like, that's fucking cool. That's why I like these movies, is they're just such a love letter to movies that I grew up really liking. and they did it.
You make a good point though, because it is a lot to have all these monsters in here, but it's really possible that Kong versus Godzilla will be their last one.
Yeah.
It's hard to say what they're going to be able to do again.
Yeah.
So.
And there's. Do we want to get to that film now? Does anyone else have anything to say about?
I'll say that I'm kind of trashing on the film. That being said, I enjoyed watching it, and I would watch it again in the future because
it's super
it was
dumb
fun.
Yeah,
it's super dumb fun. I
Yeah.
sat in the garage and was like, come on, guys, But at the same time, when Rodan is flying and he just spins, and then all of the jets around him get totally thrashed, I was like, that was a cool move that I didn't see coming.
Yeah.
And the whole
I would watch it again for all the monsters.
For the monsters.
Like fast forward.
That did a good job. It's like, come on, you built this fucking thing, and it wakes up these monsters, and you had a prototype that you had destroyed. Here's a perfected version. It gets smashed to shit. And I'm sorry, I cannot believe that Kyle Chandler did not have like pneumonia filming this thing, because every fucking scene he was in the rain
or the snow,
or the snow
all the time,
or the snow.
Even indoors, he's fucking stoked. I'm like, come on. But he fixes this machine in seconds as shit is going on. It's like, it's not
a
like
machine that was stepped on by a Titan. By the way, it's not like it like fell off a shelf or something and got
let's
scrambled.
just take that out of it. Let's just take the reality of one thing. They're working on this electronics, pouring down rain, and just like go fix it. It's like, that's gonna fix it. You're good. Those wires worked there, and then boom, it worked perfectly. Thank God. Oh my God. I mean, there's so many fucking holes.
Well, and then there's the whole scene early on when he gets to his ex-wife and daughter, and they're just like, nah, fuck you, we're not going with you. Congratulations on making it this far, but no thanks.
Yeah,
and then I'm gonna explode this thing that we're in the middle of, like,
I'm gonna release
15
this
stories
giant
deep,
Hydra
and
on
then
your
we're
ass.
all gonna take the elevator out.
Yeah.
The motivation specifically of Vera's character were absolutely horrible. I hated every single thing she did, because not only did she flip-flop like 3 times during the course of the movie, but every time she made a decision, it was like, even if they're going for like the kind of like, she's a psychopath, like, why is she doing this crazy stuff? It went beyond that. It was just like, that's just dumb. Like, even if you're like crazy and you're trying to blow up the world or whatever, like, you're next to the explosion / Titan. He's gonna come out. Like, you're waking him up. You know that, right? Like, oh man, this
whole movie they were playing like really close willy-nilly with these things when they would wake him up. Like, they were just like riding. Oh, hey, look, he's right there. Everything they're doing, like, Godzilla's in a fight next to them, they're gonna get fucking stepped on the whole time. You're like, nah, guys, I wouldn't even be within,
good. Don't worry.
And that does happen to all the random military guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
But all the main people are fine. Besides Sally, she was unceremoniously destroyed. For sure.
Yeah, she hides in the bathtub.
That's
everything for me with Millie Bobby Brown's character was a miss. Like, she was fine, but
I think she did fine with what she had.
The whole storyline was just stupid.
Yeah,
I agree.
The only character of the humans that I really cared about was Ken Watanabe and
Serizawa.
I really liked how they set him up in the first movie for his sacrifice in the second film. It felt like, as soon as they were like, oh, it has to be done by manual, I was like, okay, very cliche. It happens in every other movie that requires.
It happened in the last one in 2014. They had to manually detonate the nuke. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh, I also love. So we're watching this thing, and they need a live nuclear warhead, so they get like an ICBM. Right? I was like, why would you get a train when you could just get a little briefcase? Like, and then in the next one, right, there's the briefcase.
Right.
And then my favorite part of the Ken Watanabe scene is that he takes the time to take the nuke out of the box and set it on the ground as though it can't possibly
make a difference.
It's gonna be,
you don't know about this case, man. It's gonna hold in that explosion.
It's a Samsonite. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Go blocks.
The Monarch's just as bad as the eco-terrorists, because they set off this nuke, right? And they're just casually floating away in their submarine.
I know.
in an
Yeah.
underground cave system that they just set a nuclear weapon off in.
An underground cave system that's proof of an ancient civilization that they'll never be able to study.
Oh yeah,
now.
they nuked Atlantis.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the American way, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's true.
Nuke first, ask questions later.
But
You know,
again,
and
go ahead.
how's Godzilla gonna feel now? He goes home and it's fucking blown up. And
Yeah,
he's like,
exactly.
"Damn." Like, I
That's
mean,
just-
Yeah, he just
Here's
walked
your
in and
Viagra-
started, fuck, man.
Yeah, here's your Viagra pill, Godzilla.
Yeah.
We'll see you up at the surface.
it only took me 60,000 years to get my cave this way.
I know. Yeah, thanks for blowing my shit up. I get the point. You're helping me, but you fuck up my place. I help you, but I take out your entire fucking city.
Yeah.
I get it.
I do
get
love
it.
that
Potato,
no matter
potato.
what, they're always just drawn to a city. It's always got to be a city.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
also love, I've been to Fenway, that magically that speaker system is strong enough
Yeah.
to send that pulse
Yeah.
around the world.
Uh-huh. She
Hey,
had
you
the
know.
MIDI cables hooked up, and just see it. She had the MIDI cables. And anybody can get into the sound booth and knows how to work that equipment, of course.
Yep, for sure.
That's correct.
Let's not talk about the humans anymore.
That is where the problem lies.
We
Always.
already set up before you ever watched it that it's
It was
horseshit.
fun. I do
But the
think
monsters are dope.
I
The
do
monsters
think
are dope.
it lost a little though coming down to the smaller screen because I saw it when it came out in the theater.
Mm.
I took
Oh,
So
still
I
have a
watched it
smaller
on my
screen.
large
Don't be a
screen,
pussy, dude.
so-
I have an 80-inch TV. Just go get a big TV.
Damn.
Yeah.
Don't be a pussy.
Yeah, I have
No,
I have a
it's
movie
smaller
theater
screen.
screen in my garage that I watched it on. So I
Yeah.
watched it on the big screen with full, beautiful surround sound.
Surround
Nice.
sound, yeah. Yeah. Just class it up there, dude.
Yeah.
Don't
Get it
don't put it
together.
on the movie. Don't put it on the movie. Build an
No,
environment.
I'm just saying it's enjoyable in the theater because of the size and scope of the
Hell
monsters. It loses a little
Yeah.
bit coming down to the smaller screen. It's
But
in
so
the
does a
theater. I just
Marvel
remember,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I just remember thinking in the theater that it's also it's a kind of beautifully shot film
To a
in
degree.
a lot of ways.
I think that they rely on the camera that is sort of on the same plane of vision as the main characters,
Yes.
constantly looking up and back down at the
Mhm.
monsters to see the fight scenes. And I'm like, just pull out a wide shot for like 5 minutes so I can see these things fight. Like, I don't
Yeah,
need to
just
see it
brawl.
from
Yeah.
Kyle Chandler's perspective. I don't even give a fuck about this guy. Like, just let me see them punch each other, which it
Yeah.
looks like via your background. That's what we're going to get a little bit more of in Kong versus
Yeah.
Godzilla, that they're going to show actual fight scenes, which I'm really excited about.
Although I'm curious because it looks like they fight on an aircraft carrier,
Yes.
and I don't know how big an aircraft carrier is, but it doesn't
It's not
seem
that big.
enough.
But then again,
Yeah.
they don't have planes as big as the one in the second movie. So this must be like a mega carrier.
Yeah.
It's
There's-
obviously built in like specifically to carry Kong from Skull Island. Like they're transporting
true.
him on this thing.
That's true.
So it is for a purpose. Like I saw that too. I was like, how is Godzilla climbing onto an aircraft carrier? Like what the
Yeah,
and I was
right.
like, well, I mean, it's made for Titans to be on. So I was like, all right, that's fine, I guess.
But
Yeah.
why
I do
does he
feel
need
like-
to? He can stand on water. He does it in the second film. He just like when the
When he comes up from the nuke and like stands up next to the
he
subs.
literally just stands up right next to them, right? And then
There's a bunch
goes
of
down and
memes.
swims away, and you were just like,
There's a bunch of
Dude,
memes
Jesus.
about that scene where they take that very, very famous scene at this point from that movie because it was in the trailers where he like blows his atomic breath into the air.
Mhm.
And they were like, how is Godzilla standing? And they just have all these illustrations. And one of them, he's on like stilts and they're going all the way down to the ocean floor. In other ones, he's like stepping on a bunch of like stacked Titans. Like it's all these like hilarious illustrations. And yeah, because I was like, how is he standing there? Like, what the
because
fuck
it
is
would be
going
one
on?
thing if he was just like waist high, like you could see a little churning in the
Yeah.
water, and he was treading water or something
Yeah.
like that'd be fine. But no, he's like perfectly still, and it's like just his ankles are in. Like that motherfucker is standing
Yeah.
on water.
Yeah, that's-
He's the Dino Christ, dude. He can
Yeah.
walk on water.
I mean, he
And then
does
the
have
best
God
part
in
is
his
then
name.
then he drops into it and swims away. So it
Yeah.
clearly has
Yeah.
to be deeper than his body.
His tail
width.
was going straight down, and he was just balancing on his tail. Is what it was doing.
It's just spinning under the water.
Yeah,
It's
he's
like
just
Pinocchio's
helicoptering
nose
under
that
there.
He's like a
Extends.
dolphin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Check
Still-
this out, guys. Check it out. Check it out. I'm doing it.
Logic aside, a very cool and epic looking scene.
Oh yes.
And that's all the movie is, just cool and epic looking.
Logic aside, the movie itself
Yeah.
was a pretty epic scene.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Uh,
I don't go to the Godzilla movies for people. You know, like that's
But
I
the
know what I'm
people
getting
in
into.
the 14, like that
Yeah, the one-
storyline was pretty
that,
decent.
That gave
for
me
the
hope
most
because I
part.
really enjoyed that story a lot.
this
and
one
I
just
Yeah.
fucking shit all over it.
yeah, but it just went back to what it always was. Like if you watch Godzilla movies from Toho Studios, it's like, this is okay. Like I expected this.
But it didn't have
But
to
it-
be.
Yeah,
And
the
it'd be
Toho
like,
ones,
it'd be
though-
like 007 films. They didn't have to, they could make it campy, but now Daniel Craig brought some legitimacy to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. They made some mistakes. We would acknowledge that.
No, they didn't fucking care. That's what happened, man. They didn't care.
Yeah,
It
maybe
did feel a
not.
little like lazy script writing in some places.
my God.
Oh, for
I
sure.
can't
Feel like
For sure.
fucking.
they wrote it on the
stand-
fly.
I can't fucking stand. I can't remember his name. He's the guy who with the white hair and the glasses who plays like that snarky scientist.
Oh,
And he just has the worst lines. Like the worst. Every time he was on screen, I was like, get him the fuck out of here.
I lost him.
Like when that one guy's like, oh God, and he's like, Zilla. And I'm just like,
Oh
no,
yeah, that's
no,
Bradley Whitford.
no.
Bradley Whitford.
Bradley
yeah.
Oh
Whitford.
yeah. He's a great actor too. And he's
I
got
know
the
he
same
is. I've
He's a
seen
great
him in-
actor, but his dialogue was.
I've
like,
seen him in other
yeah.
things, but it was,
Yeah.
I was like, just don't
Yeah,
go
it's
away.
horrible. You
And
know who
even-
they needed? They needed Ruby Rose in that part. That's what they needed.
Right? Yeah, because she doesn't talk. That'd be fine.
Yeah.
Man, it is just so many problems with it.
Yeah, there were for sure, but also so many great things if you love the monsters.
Yeah, I mean the monsters were cool. That was well done. I liked again how you guys were talking about with having some personality in there.
Like at the end when Ghidorah is finally defeated and Rodan looks at Godzilla and Godzilla looks at him and he's like, "Oh fuck, dog!" Like he just has this look on his face, like, "My bad, dude. I'm sorry." Like, and he just bows like a little bitch, and I'm just like, "Yeah." Fuck.
I
Well,
thought
even-
he was done when Mothra got him, like, with,
with
the
her
stab
stinger?
effect.
Yeah. That was
You know,
such a cool.
Because then he goes down. Her sacrifice was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it pays homage to another Godzilla film from back in the day. They've always
Wasn't
been
there-
allies.
I'm not remembering, didn't they also, there's one little section, or maybe it was just in a photo when they're doing it, but there's something with the twins.
The twins, yeah. It's a blink and you'll miss it because the main, I can't remember her name. She's the one who keeps all the records of like the ancient Titan shit, and she's with most of the cast for most of the movie.
Like Zhang Ji.
And then if you see when Mothra is born, it looks like she's there too, but that's not her. That's her twin, and that goes back to because if you look at her, she has like longer hair, like when she takes off her hood, because that goes back to the original Mothra film. There were two twin girls who were like these little fairies. And when they would sing, they would like wake Mothra up. So like it was again just a little subtle nod, a blink and you'll miss it type of thing. But that was
I kept waiting for that because Mothra actually was the first kaiju movie I ever saw. I didn't see. Yeah, I did. I hadn't seen Godzilla yet. I saw Rodan and Mothra first, just randomly. And so Mothra, like I kept when they first realized that Mothra was going to be in it, I kept looking for the twins. I was like, because they keep calling back and throwing stuff back here. Where
she was also like, I'm X generation of twins, and she showed the photo album. And then again, you wouldn't even think that that's her twin, and they don't even say it. Like it's just she has longer hair. That's the only way you can tell that's a different.
Dr.
person.
Chen and Dr. Ling.
Yep. So, I liked that too. Anyways, let's talk about that trailer.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm stoked for it. You know, I expect more of the same human storyline at this point.
well, Kyle Chandler's in it.
Oh boy,
Millie Bobby Brown.
But here's something I thought that was interesting. Charles Dance is alive at the end of, he's just whatever. He's like, all right,
well, have
give
you
her
seen
what she wants, let her fuck off.
Did you see the post-credit scene of King of the Monsters?
I did not.
Oh,
So
What is it? I don't remember.
it's basically Charles Dance and his squad walking into this like dark room, looking at something, and then this guy is like, "Do you want it?" And then he's like, "I'll take it." And it pans back, and it's one of Ghidorah's decapitated heads.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, which sets up a number of different things for this movie that we'll talk
You're gonna
about.
try and regrow one.
Well,
Yeah,
so,
but he's not in the cast of this one.
Yeah.
right. So who knows if he's involved at all?
Well,
but
that we know of.
Well, his organization could be, and he
his
could not be.
organization might be.
Yeah.
And in the original films as well, there was a version of Ghidorah that was Mecha Ghidorah. So it was
Yeah.
like Ghidorah after he'd been destroyed, but they rebuilt parts of his body with like cybernetics. And so there's,
There was the glimpse
Getting
of
into
the
this new one, there's a
Mechagodzilla
lot of
in
the Mecha
there's a
Godzilla
lot of rumors
rumors.
flying. Yeah.
yeah.
It was a
There-
really quick
apparently-
shot, but I mean, it was pretty obvious when they went into that Bravo base, and it was like, ooh, I wanted
Yeah.
to see more.
Well, because there's that
Yeah.
diagram behind that one young guy who I think is related to Dr. Serizawa, that young Japanese guy. I don't remember if he's his son or something. But yeah, there's a straight up diagram behind him of Mechagodzilla. Like it's unmissable. And then there's the very first scene in the trailer, the new trailer, where all the shit's flying into the city and blowing up buildings, and you
It
see
did look like maybe it was Mechagodzilla.
you see a Titan coming over, and he's got like glowing red parts, and you're like, well, none of them do that. So this is something new. It's probably Mechagodzilla, but who knows? Maybe it's a different Titan.
Now, in the original Mechagodzilla stories, wasn't he wearing a suit like he looked like regular Godzilla for a while?
Yes.
Did I read that?
Yeah. So he had like a skin suit, and everyone thought that Godzilla was like back on the rampage and he was being evil again. And then they found out that no, underneath of it, the original story, I know this is stupid. I didn't write it, obviously. It's just how it is. He was from space originally, and it was like an alien invasion, and they dressed him up as Godzilla to like destroy cities. But then in the next movie that Mechagodzilla is in, he's built by the G-Force, which is like an anti-Godzilla task force. So it's like human made in the later films. So they've kind of flip-flopped back and forth on what he actually is. But I'm assuming he'll be human made in this one if he's in it.
No,
Which
I
I'm
think
pretty
so.
sure. I'm pretty sure he's in it.
Yeah, he looks like a
I
Mara
feel
project.
very strongly that I'm gonna feel the same way about this film. that I did about
Yeah, for sure.
last
I feel the same way. All I'm hoping is that there's more monster stuff, so that there's less human stuff. That's like my only hope, because the human stuff is.
Well, Kyle Chandler's in it again, and I'm like, fuck.
I think he has a smaller part. I don't think he's a major
He's
part.
way down. Yeah,
I
like
would
if you
hope
look
so,
at the
yeah.
IMDb list,
What-
he's way down the list.
What is he going to be unemployed? I mean, because basically that's worse off for him. Other than what he's just an
I hope
alcoholic.
they
like-
just
like-
I hope they just kill him. Like
Yeah.
he's in it for a minute
Yeah.
and then he dies.
Yeah.
That would be rad.
that would
Kong
be.
just eats him.
Although I'm disappointed that they're making Godzilla the bad guy in the movie.
Well, there's rumors about why that might be. Some people are saying that it's the skin suit Mechagodzilla thing.
Yeah.
That's not really him. Other people are saying that they have sort of orca technology that's manipulating him, just like in the second movie.
There's some
a
interesting
bunch of
things in the
reasons.
trailer too, where it looks like what is there's some scenes where it looks like Kong is in some funky ass place.
I think
Like-
that's just Skull Island.
Is it still Skull Island?
I'm not
So
sure.
this would be
but-
before they get him off of there, because I would think they wouldn't.
Are you
go
talking
back
about
there.
the scene where he's like grabbing that thing and swinging it around like those flying
Yeah, yeah.
butterflies? I'm assuming that is like old,
Early
long
in the
time
film?
ago
Yeah.
footage. Like no, like not even current timeline. Like it's
Like a flashback.
ancient. Yeah. To one of Kong's like ancestors. Like it's not even actually him, and it's back during what they called the Titan Wars, when all the Titans were fighting each other.
Right.
That's what
true,
I'm
and they do
assuming it
reference
is.
that. They do reference that too. That that happened before, right? And then
Mhm.
it's happening again. Basically.
Like before humanity was even a thing. It was like this
Right,
ancient
right.
battle. So that's what I'm assuming, that it may not be that. It might just be the beginning of the movie and Kong's just fucking shit up on his island, and then they're like, "Yo, bro, come with us," and he's like, "All right, tight," and he gets on the boat. But we'll see.
I'm gonna
'Cause
take
he's
a
got
little nap on your
human
boat.
friend.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But he looks to be shackled, right? Isn't he?
He's
Yeah.
shackled. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
they
there's a little
clearly
girl
drug
that
him
I
or
guess
something
can
to get him on the boat.
subdue him. Or
Yeah,
that
she's
he
like his
is-
friend,
Yeah.
and she looks like a member of that tribe from Skull Island. Like she has some of those
Yeah.
tattoos on her arms and those markings and stuff. So
hmm
that's like a continuation of that story, which is cool. I'm excited to see him tie it all together. even though some of the plot points are stupid and I don't care about seeing them, some of them I'm actually curious
They'll
to see.
tighten it up. Don't you worry.
The only thing that kind of bothers me from the trailer, and maybe it's just the way I'm seeing it, but it seems like either Kong has grown immensely or Godzilla has shrunk.
No, Kong
No,
grew.
Kong's grown.
bigger.
It's been 50 years.
Yeah, but I'm
and-
saying like massively, because Godzilla.
Yeah.
because they talk about how young he is.
Yeah, Kong is like a
Kong
child
versus
in Skull Island. He's very,
Yeah.
very young. They say he's an adolescent in
Yeah.
Skull Island. They mention that in the movie, like he's still
Yeah.
growing.
It's in the dialogue.
You see like in that bone field where the skull crawlers are hanging out, like basically his parents' skeletons, and they're like huge and like way bigger than him or anything else. So that was
John
always
C.
his
Reilly,
age.
I think, specifically says that
It seems like they would have died because they would have outgrown that island. Because the way they picture Godzilla, at least in King of the Monsters, like he's almost bigger than the damn island to some degree.
No.
No,
Skull Island's pretty
he's
big.
but yeah.
No.
But if he doesn't tighten like any of the rest of them, he can probably just jump into one of the underground tunnel systems and go wherever he wants around
That's
the
true.
world.
There is a
Hang
lot
out.
of underground in Skull Island. I mean, the skull crawlers, that's where they live. And he basically eradicated those. So he can just go wherever he wants.
He got the big one.
Yeah, you got the big one. Wonder what he's been doing.
So-
Just fucking chilling, eating bananas and shit.
Yeah, giant bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thankfully, there's one giant banana tree on Skull
One
Island.
at a time. He's all, fuck this.
This could feed all
regular
of
bananas.
the world for the rest of time,
Yeah.
Or Kong.
or Kong for a day. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm excited. I specifically regarding the trailer, I thought the song choice was absolutely horrible.
Oh yeah, no, I said that.
I thought it was so stupid. I hate when
What
they
was
do
the
that.
song?
It was just some hip hop like, yeah, who's the king kind of shit going on behind their
Yeah,
fight
yeah.
scenes, and I was like, no, take that out.
It wasn't.
Wow.
It wasn't good.
It was not good. It doesn't lend itself to the universe that they've established like at all. Like if that music was behind like a Marvel movie trailer, that would be fine because they have fun music in those movies all the time. But the music in these MonsterVerse films is very epic.
Do they have
and dramatic.
Do they have any popular music in the any of the three movies?
Besides Skull Island when they're flying in on the helicopters in that Vietnam scene?
Yeah,
they do like the
which
very
makes
typical.
sense.
Yeah, exactly
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. As
But
a matter
other
of fact,
than
they
that, not
play
really.
a bunch of Credence and stuff that
Yeah.
has been used in like every Vietnam movie ever.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
It's just to establish the time.
Did they
period,
play
I think.
Fortunate Son?
They did not. I was actually listening specifically for it. That's because, precisely what Kevin said. Like they were just going down the cliche list. So I was like, ooh, what's next?
Right.
Yeah, I feel like they were just setting the time period. They're like, this is the music. Obviously, we're here.
Yeah.
This is the part of the movie where we play All Along the Watchtower. And then.
Interesting. The only non-score song listed under the soundtrack on IMDb is actually
Goodbye.
Wave Mutilation by the
For
Pixies.
which movie are we talking about?
Oh no, sorry, never mind. I clicked
All
on
right.
the wrong.
Tight.
Good night.
Don't worry, guys. He's ready.
They don't call him best in the biz for nothing, folks. So we're gonna give you a little factoid, people. Listen up.
He's like, sorry, guys. That was about the My Little Pony movie. My bad.
But anyways, I'm assuming that they'll team up to fight Mechagodzilla by the end of this.
That's
movie.
exactly like I think. Yeah, they can't be against each other the whole time.
They won't kill. It'll be a Batman versus Superman thing. They'll
should
fight
use
each
the
other and
same-
then they'll go together.
It's like that Mothra meme.
Yeah, the Mothra meme.
Why did you say
What if-
Mothra? they should use the same makeup guy that they used in the first Terminator, as far as putting skin over metal.
There you go.
The guy to go to.
Perfect.
Just one red eye.
Yeah, Mechagodzilla with like the skin. It'll look like the skin from Men in Black, where it keeps like it looks like
Oh,
a
yeah.
air suit.
Oh,
It's like
is that
better?
Yeah.
So all right, well, yeah, I get. I'm looking forward to it. I guess. I mean, it'll be nice when it comes out for free, basically.
Well, here's the
Yeah,
thing, man.
exactly. Like
This is a film that I would like to actually see in the theaters, and I've been
that's true.
not going to the theaters obviously for the past over a year, just because the safe and
is
responsible thing to do.
do you have a theater that's open near you? We don't.
I'd have to
Yeah.
check. That's the
No,
thing.
ours
Is
are all
that
closed.
I would really like to see this in a theater. I mean,
I would
obviously
imagine
it's not
in
an
LA
option.
there's going to be something open.
Well, we're like,
It just
there's
happens to be the
1,000
place.
theaters near us. And I think one of them was open for a while. The one in the Garden Walk, which is down the street from Disneyland, I think was open for a while. So I have to see if that one's playing it. But I would really like to see this in the theater, and it would be a cool movie to kind of like
I agree.
go
It'd be
back to
worth
the
it.
theater for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
You can get up, get your popcorn during all the human scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta
Oh,
pee.
people?
Waiting
Okay,
for
yeah.
dialogue. Waiting for dialogue. Okay.
You're not gonna know what's going on. Oh, don't worry, I won't want to know what's going on.
Don't need it.
I don't need that part.
I don't need an explanation to see Kong punch Godzilla.
Yeah.
Nope.
Right.
Text me when Kyle Chandler's off the screen, please.
What's really interesting, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Kong has that
His
axe.
axe. Yeah.
That's one of Godzilla's spines. Like it looks like he
Oh,
ripped
is
it
it?
out of his back. And that's how he deflects like his atomic breath with it, is it's basically immune to it because it's part of Godzilla.
Good
So
face.
Yeah, it says one will fall, so
I think it said that
And
wasn't
that
the same
one will be
tagline for
Mechagodzilla.
Batman versus Superman.
I thought the same thing. I
I
saw.
was
I
like-
was like, oh man.
yeah. I mean, he'll get back up. He's fine.
Yeah.
But he's gonna fall.
just- Don't worry, dude. We're gonna have a Snyder cut of Kong versus Godzilla.
Oh.
Like, is this our natural transition into the DC?
Are we still talking about
that?
that?
All
You're
right.
welcome.
Yeah. All right. Our film is done. Let's go and send this one off to the distributor. Send this one off to Snyder so he can recut it for
Yeah.
a later date.
Funny enough, both are HBO Max.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, yeah, I think the Snyder cut talk will have to wait till next week.
I don't even know if we have anything to talk about other than there's a date.
Yeah, it's coming
Well,
out.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
4 hours
honestly, we
long.
might we might as well wait anyway because that we know what's going to happen when we start talking about that. So yeah, I'd say Godzilla versus Kong.
What's
Kind of
the
know what
actual
you're
date
going
on
to
that?
get.
It's March, right?
March 26th.
March 27th,
Yeah.
6th.
End of March.
That'll be here before we know it.
Yeah, it's not far off.
Yeah, I think strongly we already know what we're gonna get, and
It
and
does feel like it's leaning closer to King of Monsters than
Yeah.
2014.
for sure,
Godzilla.
for
Agreed.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, even the preview, Kyle Chandler was wet.
So was I when I was watching it.
Yeah, you were drenched.
Ooh.
Sploosh.
Hang on, I gotta go walk the dog.
But no, I was like, Jesus, like there's so many fucking scenes where he's just raining. I'm all, dude.
It's gonna
It's
Like,
called
pick up at night.
Atmosphere, dude.
Even
Have you
it's
heard of
even
it?
like in a flashback of all that dude is always in the rain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the fucking submarine bullshit. God.
Atmosphere, bro. Atmosphere.
Move away from the
it's-
humans. Move away from the humans.
Yeah.
They blow the door, the cargo bay doors off so the helicopter comes zooming in.
Move away. Move away from them.
Yeah,
Just think about
God.
Godzilla going atomic and literally disintegrating Ghidorah.
Yeah. Oh
That
my
seems
god.
awesome.
Oh yeah, but they're cool. They were running. I mean, they were booking. So. Oh my god. Yeah.
Anyways.
All right. So, anyways, thank you for
Tentative
listening.
excitement.
Thank you for downloading. Next week, we're probably going to talk about Justice League Snyder Cut. We'll see if we have
Why
any
not?
new information to share. I'll try to watch Terminator 2 between now and then, just to
Yeah, I gotta watch a
Yeah.
Pirates movie.
because I might as well get through this because it's gonna go down fast. So watch that one, and same for you, Kevin. And
Yeah, I
you
have
enjoy
to.
the second
Yeah.
one for everything
Yeah.
it's worth.
Yeah, it's like my nightmare too.
But like I said,
it's
try to
all
watch.
goes to fuck all after that.
Do yourself a favor. Try to watch 2 and 3 back to back. It's gonna make 3 a lot easier.
That might,
Yeah.
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 And then so David, on to the Karate Kid. Enjoy.
At least the
Yeah.
first week's not going to be too bad. It'll be the original. And then it's
That's not,
downhill.
yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
And then Pete, you enjoy that Roger Moore, by all means, watch more than one if you have the time. And then yeah, so thank you for listening, thank you for downloading, and yeah, talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye. Give your balls a tug.
I don't know if you guys noticed. I watched the trailer for like the new Mighty Ducks. It's going to be on Disney Plus.
Why'd you do that?
Someone, okay, it was on Facebook
Someone
and I was
dared you?
scrolling past it. But the reason I stopped and watched it is fucking Jonesy's in the show.
Oh, is he really?
Is he really?
He is. So that's what, because I was scrolling and he plays like a coach for one of the kids' teams.
Interesting.
And
They're
I was
all really
scrolling down
hockey
and I saw
players.
him and I was like, wait a second.
Yeah,
Is this
they all.
TV show or movie?
That TV show. It's going to be a TV series on
That's
Disney
interesting.
Plus called The Mighty Ducks.
Speaking of scrolling past shit on Facebook that you notice but don't want to, the Tom and Jerry movie comes out next month.
Yeah.
Have you seen the preview?
Yeah,
I haven't bothered.
just like 2 seconds of it, and I was like, nope.
It's like, damn it, Chloe,
Yeah,
I like you.
yeah. I was like, why
are
would you
doing
sign on
this?
for that? Why would you do that?
Is it? Oh, Chloe. Oh, that's right. Chloe Grace is in it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mike, don't you know these things kill careers? Like, don't do that.
So we'll see. I mean,
Sometimes.
Sonic was looking really bad too, and that turned out to be better than the previews. So
That's true.
But Tom and Jerry is like it's like even the cartoons, going back and watching them, it's like I don't know. I remember watching them as a kid, enjoying them, but like they're not the ones I go back to watch. I'm watching Looney Tunes, if anything.
Yeah, I'd rather watch Looney Tunes. But like, I don't understand why they decided to set Tom and Jerry in the real world either. Like, it just it
Yeah.
never was. Like, there weren't people in Tom and Jerry. There was like one or two here and there, but it was always just
Yeah.
Tom and Jerry.
You have like an old lady's legs, right? You
Yeah,
never really
exactly.
see the old
Exactly.
lady.
Yeah,
She
you never
wasn't-
saw a person's face.
She was just like a moving prop that came through.
Mhm.
So who knows?
We'll see what happens.
We shall.
That and Space Jam.
Can't wait for that. So the
Mighty
so
Ducks
tonight
looks
we're-
good.
Oh shit.
Well,
Well, we'll be
I
hearing
like
about
how
it in future
delayed
movies.
that like comment
Yeah, like
even
I
was
just-
in
I
the
just went
first
and watched
place.
trailer.
Yeah.
I just
We,
went and watched
we
the
talked
trailer.
about that like 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, I think you need to restart your modem there, Pete. You seem to be a little bit
Now,
behind.
I just went and watched that trailer after
Fucking Net
talked
Zero
about it, I
is
didn't realize it was
lagging,
out
bud.
there. Net Zero.